What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Beyond the Backboard Podcast, another special episode of 2 Minute Drill. Next to me are my beautiful co-hosts, Max and Earl. Today, we are going to talk about the recent news that Steph Curry is now the assistant general manager of his alma mater, Davidson University. And yes, I had to emphasize that because I utterly made the mistake of reading the information wrong and then getting absolutely grilled by my co-hosts here. My two beautiful co-hosts, I might add, by the way. But as we continue, whoever wants to pick it up first, 2 minutes, start now.
Well, the first thing I'll say about this is congratulations to Steph Curry. I think this is an awesome opportunity for him to be involved. I think, anytime you go to, anytime you graduate from a college, you always want to have those ties back. Being part of your alma mater is always something really cool, whether it's, some people will go back and teach at their old school. Some people go back, be a part of like some sort of managerial staff, board of trustees, sometimes even like a dean of students. To be able to be an assistant general manager on the basketball team that you took to greatness in the case of Steph Curry, it's got to be an amazing thing for him. I'm sure he's really excited to get going on this. I know the narrative is going to be, does this take away from his focus in the NBA? I would assume not. I would assume most of his job is just going to be saying yes and no. They're probably going to, they still have a general manager. I'm sure most things are going to run through the general manager. To me, this reads very much as a consultant kind of role. Basically, the general manager is still going to manage all the day-to-day stuff, scout players, recruit players. He's just there to say, hey, Steph, we're sending this, we're going to send this guy a scholarship offer. You like it? And Steph's going to say, yeah, I like this offer. He's going to say, no, I don't like it. And they say, all right, Steph, thank you for that. Hey, Steph, we're thinking about changing the color of the court a little bit. We're going to change the three-point line. You like that? And Steph's going to say yes or no, and is going to move on. So I don't think he's going to be too locked into all the nuts and bolts. Maybe he will be. Who knows? Maybe Steph Curry is going to be so tuned into Davidson basketball. He's going to know every player by name. He's going to be showing up to games. Who knows how involved he will have the time to be. But I think just the fact that he is on that staff and a part of that team is awesome because he's the reason, I think Davidson's best years were under Steph Curry. He's obviously their most notable sports alum. I say sports. I'm pretty sure there's no other notable sports or super notable sports alums from there than Steph Curry. So the fact that he's a part of that program now, got to be a big honor for him. So congratulations to him. I don't think it's going to impact his play much. I think when it comes down to the playoffs, he and Jimmy Butler are going to be locked in, even though Jimmy Butler is working on selling coffee as well on the side. So maybe they win the championship. Steph can go celebrate at Jimmy's coffee shop, and Jimmy can go hang out at Davidson for a bit.
All right, so I guess that means it's my turn. First of all, did my timer start? My fault.
Yes.
Okay. First of all, shout out to Stephen Curry. Another great accomplishment in his career. I'm not surprised, man. This is the same Steph Curry who had a Nike interview that didn't know his name, mixing up for KD and other athletes, and he went his own way, joined Under Armour, started his own Curry brand under there. So I think Curry, he's just one of those trailblazer type of guys. Shout out to him. Adding more ways for athletes to pave their way into other things besides being a basketball player. Just adds to his resume. For me, I kind of agree with Max as far as like what his role is. My idea for Curry and signing this as an assistant, was it assistant GM, you said? Or
Yes.
what was it? Okay,
It's
yeah.
assistant GM, yes.
Okay, cool. Personally, I think he's going to be more so like leading athletes to come join the basketball program, whether that's like in the summertime, helping out with official visits, tours and stuff like that, or maybe giving insight. We know he runs a lot of basketball camps in the summer, so maybe throwing a couple lobs to Davidson as far as like what players to be looking at that might be under the radar. I think he's just a great basketball mind to have just around. Like maybe he can be like a consultant in the locker room. You know how they bring on different guys to speak to the students and stuff like that, or the athletes. I think he can have that role as well. Like as far as like hands-on, obviously it's going to be a little bit difficult when basketball season does start, but I imagine depending on the schedule, I could see him maybe making like a Final Four appearance or something like that. Well, I don't think Davidson is in condition, no offense. I don't know. I could be completely wrong, but I could definitely see him doing a little bit of networking out there, trying to look at different basketball athletes. But yeah, I kind of see him as like the face of Davidson, if that makes sense, like as far as basketball. So shout out to him for signing that deal. I think it's amazing, and I'm excited to see what he does next. But another thing Curry has done historically in the books, which is kind of insane, first NBA athlete to sign with a college team like that. So shout out to him.
All right, perfect. My 2 minute stand. I thought it was amazing. I think it was a great thing that Steph Curry recently picked up. Yes, I'll be honest. I originally thought it was main general managership because I don't know how to read clearly, and I tend to skip words by accident. But regardless of that, it's still great news. I still think it's going to be way more responsibilities than what Max has broken it down to, but I do think there is some truth to that. But obviously, I don't think it's going to be the hardest job for Steph Curry to pick up since he's only going to be the assistant. But I do think he's going to become consistent within, hopefully, more of the basketball team's interests and stuff like that, just to get them, give them a little head start on whatever they want to do in their life. But regardless of that, Steph Curry was the best thing that happened to Davidson. We said that earlier, and honestly, I have nothing better to say. You guys really kind of covered it all. I'm gonna retreat my last 50 seconds. um, let's get into 2 minutes of
That was a 1 minute stand.
First thing I'll ask you, Omar, and I think Max will love to hear this too. I know you did mention like Curry would be taking more and more responsibilities than we mentioned. So what are some of those responsibilities you think Steph Curry will take on as assistant GM of the Davidson program?
Well, I mean, I don't think it's I can't give you obviously specific examples of that, but what I can give you is,
What would you expect?
Yeah, like what would you think? Like,
well, I mean, spreadsheets and
bro thinks Curry's doing spreadsheets. Oh,
I mean,
God,
dude,
Maybe.
that's what anybody would
with low-income
do.
housing.
You don't start from nothing. This is what business
That's crazy.
is. Business starts with the most like miscellaneous tasks and most boring tasks that you could possibly do, but it turns into something great and something that you love. And that's what Steph Curry's approach is, and I love it. I want to see more of it. I can't give you specific examples. That would be deliriously dumbing it down. But what I can say with definitiveness that it is more than those two things.
Well, you didn't give us anything other than what we said. Honestly, when you see a move like this, as far as like I would consider this like a huge endorsement, I think of Curry like as a super sponsor. Like sponsors are people, instead of Curry going out and giving a whole bunch of money to the school is giving Curry money to bring people into the program. So for me, I think it's more like an advertising thing, bringing students on, kind of showing people like, hey, this is why you should come to Davidson. Like being that guy, like the face of, I think, Davidson basketball, and kind of encouraging players like, hey, I'm here. We have maybe some camps in the summer with Curry and Davidson, maybe some other things like that as well. As far as like
You
Curry
ran out
just
of those
being
2 minutes, but
involved.
I'm gonna let you keep going. Keep going.
Oh no, I'm done there. I'm just saying like I just think he's pretty much gonna be the face.
Yeah, I think that's more viable. And to be completely honest, then if that's the case, then he should be straight up a sponsor. I'm not sure an assistant general manager would prove it. And yes, I looked it up because I wanted to just.
It's just the title more than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should respect that. You know,
But
thank you
appreciate you guys
much.
watching. Yeah. Appreciate you guys watching this episode of 2 Minute Drill. Yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate all the support across all of our social media channels. And if you don't know already, we are live every Tuesday and Friday. Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time and Friday at 2:00 p.m. Eastern time. Live on playback. Link in the description. Peace out, guys.
Word up.